Alright, what's happening, fam? It's Tarot Tuesday. What you're going to do is you're going to pick rather column A or column B or column C. They each have different cards that are aligned with different things. You can go off of the colors, you can go off of which orientation feels better. It's up to you. I'm going to give you a minute to do that. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. This reading is timeless, no matter when you're watching it, regardless of the timestamp. This resonates with you in the present moment, depending on which deck you pick. All right. Take what serves you, leave what doesn't. All right. All right, so we're going to get started. We're going to start at the very top with this new deck that I have. So you're going to have to give me a second to look up exactly each particular symbol, but we're going to start off with this far off end. Okay, so Kefra. This one basically means that you're going through a transformational phase right now. A lot of things are shifting for you that needed to happen for a while now, and it's bringing a lot of creativity, a lot of creation in your life. The Mastercard up here on the top of the deck, which is freeze. This card right here is telling you that right now is not the time for you to be doing anything too over the top. It's about you allowing yourself to accept this level of transformation that's going on in your reality and just going with the flow. The cloud cards from the male deck are telling you that you're returning to something that needed to be done a while ago. Okay, so maybe this is something you skipped originally, or maybe this is something from another lifetime that's coming back across your table, or this could be just revelations that you've pushed away and you've known that you had to deal with them for a while, and now it's time for you to deal with them. These are all coming back so you can recalibrate some sort of karma that is not fully to your benefit, okay? And this is all to solidify a new foundation in your reality. This new foundation is going to bring a lot of healing energy to you, okay? So the main thing you need to be understanding at this current moment is that you should be allowing compassion to guide your movements, okay? While you connect to the fire of your heart and you unlock ancient wisdom from the ancient scrolls of your soul, okay? So this is a soul card, this is a soul card. These two are heart cards, and the heart is always going through a transformational phase. We have two elements governing you, ice up top, which you can't really see on the screen, and earth in the middle. It's a lot of good energy going on here. Now, on the bottom deck here, the 9 of coins is basically telling you, hey, this is a time for you to reap your rewards. It's a time for you to be in a position where you're like, okay, you know that you're everything's coming back around, everything's frozen and coming back around, so you can keep rewarding yourself and transforming with this energy right here. As long as you stay connected with your soul wisdom and your heart, there's nothing to worry about. This is all about reaping your just rewards. They remind you with the priest card that sometimes the best way you can help another person is by showing them how you've helped yourself, or being an example for other people to help them get to the next level, right? Your job here as a light worker, and I'm really feeling this energy has to do with light workers, is to help shift the consciousness. And with this shift comes resistance, okay? It's not always going to be easy for you to make shifts for the collective, and people are going to accept it the way that that you would like them to. That's why you have to have compassion, and you need to have a strong heart, okay? If you've been going through a lot of resistance, whether it's through family or through friends or through the community that you guide, remember, this is not the first time this has happened to you in this lifetime, and perhaps in another lifetime. Don't let that bring you down, because this is a moment of death. This is a moment of transformation for you, okay? And sometimes we need to let certain things about ourselves die. I'm really picking up that whatever blockage you're having in this particular region here is tied to an inner child wound or trauma, okay? So whatever testing moment is coming up, take some time to love your inner child or reparent your inner child, or just simply dive into your shadow and know what it is that's being triggered, all right? Because that's going to bring out a lot of strength for you in the terms of being in your own element, owning the show, not being fearful of what's to come. And it's also going to be something that it summons so many different levels of strength in your reality in general. If you do this, the Four of Wands tells you that there's happiness and there's stability that's coming into your life as a product of this, okay? So it's really just about owning your spiritual power, understanding that you're going through a transformational phase. That transformational phase isn't going to be easy, mostly from the outside world. I'm really feeling the light warrior vibe here, like you're being told to come into your shining power, and there's other elements around you that are not allowing you to fully tap into that. Then we have Yogananda's Mastercard that's basically telling you to open your spiritual eye to the light of the divine. And when we listen to Yogananda telling us, to open your spiritual eye to the light of the divine, that's very similar to the Kefra energy. It's basically rebirth. It's a scarab beetle. It's being in your position of power. And sometimes when you're in a position of power, you're at the very top of the deck, right? And you can see all this other aspect going on in reality, but other people who don't have this vision may be seeing it from down here and expecting more out of your reality. This is one of those things where you need to really cultivate yourself. You need to also understand that you have now reached this higher scope of viewing the world, and this is going to be something that's going to be testing. When you become awakened, there is that curse that comes with being awakened, is realizing that everyone else can't see what you see. And you need to be able to be a master of your own reality in this particular deck right here to overcome the things that you've dealt with once and over again in multiple different areas of your existence, okay? Keep your heart open. Enjoy this moment right now. There's a reason why all of this is currently frozen, okay? There's a reason why. So don't be worried if you're not making money. Don't be worried if you're not exactly where you want to be right now. Just keep embracing the subtle shifts that you're doing, knowing that everything's going to come full circle for you. All right? So now we're going to dive into this center deck right here. And then we have Hehoot, which if you give me 2 seconds, I will tell you the exact meaning. I don't know this deck all the way fully yet. The possibility of transcending time's limitation, spiritual evolution, and transformation. All right, so here's another transformational moment for whoever ended up picking this deck. This was transformation as well, and I'll just read the Kefra Ra. I already knew that one by heart, but I will read it for you one more time. Transformation of a situation, inner transformation, renewals of energy. Okay, so it's a double transformation. If you were in this deck, you were going through a certain kind of transformation. If you're in this deck, you're going through another transformation, a spiritual evolution particularly. Now let's go ahead and look a little bit deeper into what that spiritual evolution is. Ooh, the arrow. There's something that is in your mind's eye that you want, and you're going for it, and you're going to get it. And there's nobody's going to stop you from getting it. But, you may not have the best course of action, I'm sensing right now, of getting there. Let's find out why. Whatever's coming up is a major shift, okay? So the transformation that you're seeking, it's in your sight, okay? But it's a major shift. And I'm really sensing that there's something about it that slightly intimidates you. It brings you to this position of do I really want this? Maybe you realize that okay, it's here, but you have to put some extra work into getting to that particular goal or that particular shift. Remember, if it's something you've been manifesting for a while, you better take action. Because if you don't take action, then this can somehow come back to bite you in the ass later and make you feel like you didn't take that leap of faith, right? So if you've been working towards this and asking for a shift in your business, if you've been asking for a shift in your relationship, or any sort of shift, any form of manifestation, you've had your eye on it. It's here. It's a massive shift. Don't psych yourself out, because if you stay focused, you're going to have a lot of abundance coming over your way, all right? The flower tells you about blossoming in spiritual senses and material senses. This is a great combination. The Mastercard up top and these two cards, they're all basically saying that you've opened up some sort of level of magical power for yourself, okay? Now, with this is going to be a massive teacher. It's going to be a teacher for your own personality. It's going to be a teacher for the things that are going to come. You might be feeling like you need to go back to school and like teach yourself, some new techniques. I definitely know that I've been in that vibration as well. I'm just trying to like brush up on new techniques and things like that matter for my goals, right? Because I know it's here and I know like it's going to bring out abundance, but I'm at that same level with you guys, okay? So don't give up. Rather, you're going to be teaching people how to do what you're doing, or you need to be teaching yourself to get to the next level, because you need to work your magic, all right? This is an Ascension violet flame energy. This is Aquarius energy. This is that energy of like opening up new magical doors. So you really need to go now and crush it, okay? You're in this really powerful state of manifestation, and if you do not own this manifestation and you just let it ride you, you're gonna really miss out on something that's so important to you. So remember, keep moving no matter how difficult it is. Don't burn yourself out. Don't like bite too much than you can chew. Just do things one step at a time. Remember, if you don't feel prepared, use YouTube. Teach yourself in YouTube. Meditate. Change your habits a little bit, because sometimes when we change our habits, we also can get to our goals much easier. So we have the Justice card, all right, which is tied to 11. So 11 has to do with manifestation, and Justice is basically telling you at a soul level that there's something that's being recalibrated in this current moment. That which is being recalibrated is essentially your karma and the energy work that you've been putting out. Maybe you've been feeling like you haven't been able to catch a break for a while, and now things are kind of sort of just, they're starting to make shifts, not the biggest shifts that you want, but you know that you're about to get to the next shift, all right? So go ahead and allow yourself to embrace this energy, okay? Two of Swords. Continue to manifest and meditate. Stay focused on that, right? Since karma and manifestations are changing for you, the Two of Swords is someone who is really deep in thought, and they're holding two swords because they don't want someone to bother them. So the sheer fact that they're blindfolded, they have two swords in their hands, and they seem to be really deep in thought, tends to scare people away from bothering them. You need to have that kind of energy right now. You have your arrows, you're hunting for that big next shift, all right? And nature has its balance, all right? You need to stay focused. Otherwise, you might not make it, all right? You might not get there. You're in the winning scope. Just don't lose your momentum. Don't be afraid of letting go of this momentum either, because then you might focus on that. Continue to do what you're doing. You got this. I believe in you. The Hangman. So the Hangman, when it comes upside down, I'm trying to think exactly. It means you might have some indecision, delusion, delay, and missed opportunities if you don't stay focused, all right? So go now, do what you got to do, stay on that mark. Don't be overly aggressive. Know that, yeah, you got to hustle and get there, like however it is that you got to get there. But the Knight of Swords basically reminds you, do not be heavily aggressive, okay? Because if you're too aggressive, you can kind of like burn yourself out. You can burn some bridges. You can make mistakes for the future without realizing that you're doing them now. So really just focus on keeping a sound energy, a sound momentum, a sound vibration. You'll be able to get to that next level just fine, because you're in this transformational phase. Finally, on the top of the deck, we have the Five of Swords, meaning, on this journey that you're in particularly, it might be testing because you might hit a couple bumps here and there. And those bumps might make you feel like it's not meant to be, or it's very difficult to continue on, okay? Just remember, Archangel Michael tells you you can do it, all right? You guys are in your flow right now. This is a lesson for you to learn so you can grow from, and you can teach yourself something new. Develop a new habit structure, a new schedule, whatever it is that you got to do. But this is all meant for you to create resilience and willpower towards what you're desiring, okay? So don't give up on yourself. The universe isn't giving up on you. You're in this really powerful creation mode, okay? Where on this deck, on the first deck, people are being caught up in the illusion of their soul, and they're being kind of sort of affected by outside reality. For you guys in the center here, you guys are more so very in tune with your internal reality, and that internal reality is going to open up a lot of doors for you later on. But you just got to make sure that you stay focused on making consistent movement. If you're not doing that, that's where you might fall into one of these other categories later on, okay? So we're going to do this next deck right here. And we have Kempt, which, gotta look that one up really fast. It means chaos, confusion, disillusion, and the breaking of structures, okay? So right now, if you pick this third deck right here, you guys are going through a chaotic swing, a chaotic movement. I'm gonna switch over to my other side here so I can read it a little bit more easily. But what we see right here, even though you're going through a chaotic swing up here, what we see on the Native American deck down low says that you're going through a shamanic experience. It means that you're going through an evolutionary state, which is actually pretty good. Now let's find out what the clear cards have to say to you. Ooh, this is a cycle. This is a cycle that's been there. It's a cycle that you cosmically orchestrated for yourself. And this cycle is something that absolutely has had a hard control over your life for quite some time now. And it's caused you a lot of issues, and it's forced you to kind of stall yourself out because of this issue. So this is a chaotic spiral that you've had that's caused you a lot of issues in your life. And the major card up top is telling you it's time to put that to rest, all right? Whatever it is that's been there, this is what needs to put itself to rest. You may know what that habit is already. And let's see what Isis has to say about the rest of this. The reason why it has to be put to rest is because it's restricting you from your goddess power of strength, okay? So this spiral, even though like it's worked for you, like maybe you don't have any organization or structure in your life, right? And it's spiraled out of control, a certain element of your life has spiraled out of control, and it's worked at times, it's time to understand it's not working for you anymore. You have to let go of whatever this spiraling sensation that sucked you in is doing to you. You gotta let go of that, because it's only continuing to create more problems on the road, and you're just diverting your power. I can feel like this has something to do with also distractions. Maybe you notice that you're about to always hit the next level, and then a distraction manifests itself in your life, whether it's a person of interest or you bite too much off. Like, remember, you have to be the divine guardian of your own reality. Even though you're being helped by the guides are now warning you that if you don't make a conscious effort to shift this energy, then you're not going to be able to get to your goal as quickly as you originally were anticipating. This is a massive, massive energy block that you have. And this card right here, the power of the 7 scorpions, basically tells you that it's a lower dimensional reality. It has to do with an emotional blockage, a blockage of your own safety and fulfilling yourself, or it can even be a blockage of the inner child, okay? This is something, a trauma that is going to continue to cause more strife in your life. We have a chaos card, 2 chaotic vibes going on, and here's a third chaotic vibe. Even though you're in chaos, don't take it as like, oh my God, I'm fucked, right? You can't take that vibration. You have to be understanding of the fact that this is part of your shamanic path, okay? This is something that you have to just overcome. Sometimes overcoming these like karmic lessons are very, very difficult. It takes a lot of willpower. It takes a lot of concentration. It may feel like it's nearly impossible, and sometimes you may feel like you don't even know how you're going to do this, right? Even if you feel like you don't know how you're going to do this, where the answer is, how you're going to move forward, don't accept failure or defeat. You just have to be like, okay, I feel anxious. I feel like I don't get it. I feel like I don't know what to do, but I just have to be patient, be patient, be patient. The answer is going to come to me. The answer is somewhere here. I just have to be open to it. I just have to be in the flow, right? As long as you keep that perception of reality open, you're going to notice that the answer will come to you. Now, what are the major lessons to the base of all of this? You need to learn how to go with the flow. Something in your life needs to transform by simply going with the flow, which you've halted. And we see hail. Hail is frozen water, right? So, if you're not going with the flow, then you're obviously frozen in certain areas. Maybe you wanted something to play out in your life in a specific fashion and it didn't. And now you have to be okay with that, and you need to keep moving forward. Another chaotic card, you need to find clarity in the silence, okay? You're not listening to your intuition. You have a lot of fears that are driving you, a lot of insecurities that are driving you. This is a moment for you to overcome and master your inner realms. Some people call it the shadow. Some people call it their awakening. Some people call this the dark night of the soul. Whatever it is that vibrates with you, you have to master this by going with the flow, accepting your power, and breaking these cycles that no longer serve you. Because this is something that, literally, another chaotic card, it destroys you. It's something that always destroys something really good that you got going on. Aren't you tired of that? Aren't you ready to put that to bed by calling it a night, right? Aren't you ready for that? This is all for a higher ascension purpose. Everyone's going through a major shift in all of these, right? Whether it's having to have a lot of focus and not burning yourself out and continuously moving without psyching yourself out, or learning how to love other people by empowering yourself. Here is by recognizing shit. I've done this to myself a million times. Why am I still doing this? Is this worth it to me? Okay. And here they tell you that it may feel like it's almost impossible for you to shift whatever it is that you want to shift, but that's an illusion. Okay. The shift is going to happen regardless of whether or not you enact it or you just go with the flow. But the shift has to happen. If you don't know how to make the shift happen, just ride the wave. Ride the wave. If you ride the wave, then the shift will eventually make itself clear enough that you know what you have to do. Because again, this is a shamanic experience, all right? And you are divinely protected with the Isis card. It's telling you that you don't have to worry about anything else other than stopping yourself from getting to the next level, all right? So then we have this card right here, which belongs to everyone, all right? And it's the goddess Ma'at, or the goddess of truth, harmony, and justice, right? So this card basically means there's higher laws operating to influence events on the earthly matter. This is all about truth and justice, okay? So this vibration is really telling you that there are things outside of your control at this current moment. There are things that are outside of your control in this current moment that you need to ride the waves with. And if you're willing to ride the waves with that, you're going to see lots of beneficial things come through for you. All right. So this could have been something you decided to orchestrate way before you came into this lifetime, or something that has just been manifested and now it's already taken full form and it's going to do whatever it's got to do, okay? This Ma'at card is extremely important to the people in the center, right here, okay? Because you guys have the Justice card, which is the balancer, right? And she's all about justice and truth, all right? A divine law. For the people in the center deck, okay, this right here is crazy. You guys are the most powerful, and this is why you need to really pay attention to your middle reading, because if the goddess, if there are higher laws that orchestrated this where you need to be, this particularly is like 100. Like you hit this nail on the head, 100% on the target with your arrow, literally. And that big change is here because a higher law has brought this to you. So do not waste the abundance that is going to be coming into your life. Don't waste this abundance. Flourish, okay? Take a leap of faith. Do whatever it is that you got to do to get to your next goal. And remember, don't be overly ambitious. Don't see any major obstacles as a way to stop you. Just keep going in the direction you're going. This is all spiritual transformation. Extremely important for people in this deck, all right? That Ma'at card, it has a different meaning in this deck altogether, okay? Because in this deck is telling you this is a lesson that if you don't learn to let go of, it's going to cause you a bigger issue later. Choose to make a shift in your reality, especially because the Lunar Queen on this deck, which I didn't read earlier, is basically telling you that this is part of your full moon manifestation that happened with the Pisces full moon. Like, you asked for help to get past your limitation. Here it is. Divine law is now not giving you a choice to get over it, all right? You get over it or you don't, you're going to have a consequence. Reap the rewards, not the portions of the penile system, right? Of cosmic law. For this deck, that Ma'at card means something slightly different as well. It's basically telling you, hey, the reason why you're being tested by all these people and all these things, and the reason why things are happening as they are, is because it's been divinely orchestrated, but it is also for you to let go of an old identity that you've been using. People in this deck right here, over there on that side, are all about, hey, I self-validation. Let go of this, of the need to be self-validated. You are a high vibrational being in this dimensional reality, and there's certain aspects that come with being in this dimensional reality that just don't pan out always the way you wanted to. You're dealing with other co-creators that aren't even aware that they're creators. You need to let that go, all right? And if you have a little bit of everything, some of you might feel like a little bit of each deck is exactly what you're going through. Maybe you're dealing with a lot of issues with people because your chaotic lifestyle and the chaos that you hold internally that you haven't let go of is blocking you in this sense. And you know that your goal is right in front of you and you want to get there, but somehow these two aspects are blocking you. If that's the case, listen to the whole entire message. That's why it's here, okay? So I'm sending you all my love. Thank you for watching, subscribing, sharing with people, and commenting Ascension below. If this resonated with you, I would love to hear how this resonates with you in your personal world. Talk to you later.